Picture this. I stroll into the living room, armed with my color-coded spreadsheet, highlighter in hand, and a determined look that says, I am ready to tackle our finances. My husband, on the other hand, glances at me as if just suggested we run a marathon barefoot in the snow. You know that look, the one that says, why would you do this to me? Okay, let's be real here. The budget talk is a universal couple's dread. One partner is all about the numbers, spreadsheets, and financial goals, while the other would rather negotiate peace treaties over a slice of pizza. It's like one of you is ready for a board meeting and the other just wants to binge watch their favorite series with a side of snacks. Does it sound familiar? But here's the thing. Money talk in marriage isn't really about the dollars and cents. Nope. It's about communication, teamwork, and let's not forget the occasional pizza slice to keep things light. All right? So, how do we move from rolling our eyes and sighing deeply to actually being on the same page? Let's break it down. Welcome to the Simple Money Systems. This is the go-to podcast for exceptional women who are eager to pay off their debt and live a fearless, meaningful life with confidence and joy. Hi, Diana Gallas here. I am a mom to a special needs child, a caregiver to a loved one, and the host of this show for you, who is determined to break free from debt without sacrificing what you value most. Discover here simple money strategies to set you free from debt culture, money wasting, and ever-changing mode of currency and market volatility. If you're ready to say yes to a debt-free life and exchange everything that hasn't worked for a plan that will, results that are undeniable, like peace of mind, better sleep, improved mood, and more money in your pocket, this podcast is for you. Hug your bug or boo, roll up those sleeves, and get your life out of debt into your freedom land with confidence. Budgeting with your spouse doesn't have to feel like a tug of war. It's more like a learning how to move as a team. It takes rhythm, communication, and a bit of give and take. If one person tries to control every step, it throws everything off balance. So, how do you make it work? Think of it like building something together. You both have a vision, maybe slightly different, but you're working toward the same end goal. One of you might be focused on the foundation and structure, while the other is thinking about the design and finishing touches. If you don't agree on the blueprint, you could end up with something that doesn't really work for either of you. And budgeting here is the same. It's about agreeing on the plan before you start putting the pieces together. Maybe one of you thrives on structure, tracking every dollar and setting clear goals. The other might bring creativity and flexibility to the table, wanting room for spontaneity and fun. And these both perspectives are valuable because together, friend, you build something that's strong and enjoyable. So when you sit down to budget, think of it like creating a game plan. You both get a say in what's important. Your essentials like bills and savings, it's the strategy, right? And the fun stuff like date nights, hobbies, or family trips, the wins. Everyone feels heard and no one's sidelined. And the best part, if you keep the tone light and focus on what you're building together, it stops feeling like a chore. You're not just managing money, you're creating a future that reflects both of your values, dreams, and priorities. And when you approach budgeting as a team, you don't just grow your finances, you grow your connection. All right, now let's look why this works so well. With a dash of humor. Let's be real, friends. Talking about money with your spouse isn't always fun. But when you do it together, it actually works. Here's why. Number one, shared responsibility equals less stress. When one person carries all the money pressure, it builds tension and eventually resentment. It's kind of like being the only one who ever cleans the garage or the deck or your porch. Because things get cluttered and stinky real fast. Number two, it builds trust and teamwork, right? Money is one of the top stressors in marriage. But when both of you are involved, it can actually become a strength. You stop fighting the money and start fighting for the same goals. Number three, wins feel better when you both celebrate. Whether it's paying off debt, saving for a trip, or just sticking to the grocery budget. Finally, right? It feels way better when you're high-fiving each other, not one dragging the other across the finish line. And here's why money talks can get tense. And friend, a joke or a silly analogy can take the edge off. Because if you can laugh about the coffee budget, you're probably ready to handle the mortgage talk too. Here's an underrated truth about money and marriage. It's not about getting your spouse to fall in love with budgeting. No, this is not what we're talking here. It's about connecting the budget to something they already care about. Think of it this way. Most of us weren't taught that the best money talks aren't about dollars. They're about dreams. Budgeting is really just putting numbers behind what matters most to both of you. Let's see if your husband loves sports. Forget spreadsheets and try this instead. All right, here's the play. We stick to this plan, and by summer, we score the touchdown. Brand new grill. Game day ready. Right? Now it's not about cutting back. It's about winning together. And if your husband is a builder, he loves to do something with his hands, just like mine. Then frame the budget like a project. We lay the foundation by cutting a few extras, and in a few months, we can start the deck or finally get that tool upgrade. It becomes less about restriction and more about constructing your future, piece by piece. So, no, your money talk doesn't have to start with, here's the budget. Start with, what do we want to build? What do we want to win? That's when budgeting stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like a shared mission. Let's look at a few tips to make it fun and sustainable. Tip number one, keep it short and sweet. Budget meetings don't need to be 2 hours long. Make it 15 or 20 minutes with coffee or dessert. And make sure to schedule it ahead of time, and don't forget to communicate it to your husband so he can prepare mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever it takes. Respect his time and he'll respect the process, all right? Number 2, use visuals, not just numbers. Show progress with a debt thermometer, jar for vacation money, or a savings tracker. What I love to have when I talk about budgeting is my vision board, and I make it colorful, fun, and to the point so he would actually look at it, okay? And your husband will engage better when he can see the win. Tip number 3, celebrate small wins. Paid off one bill, order a pizza. Stayed under budget this month, toast with sparkling water or sparkling grape juice. Cheer like he just scored the winning touchdown and he is the winner. All right? Tip number 4. Make sure each person has some freedom money. Build into the budget. And this is one of the coolest things about debt-free budgeting because, friends, I'll teach you how to pay yourself, okay? And to have your freedom money. So check it out. Check my course at dianagalas.com/course. Because, friends, no one wants to feel like they're on an allowance. And instead, agree on a set amount that each of you can spend freely. No questions asked, all right? It's a simple way to keep things fair, reduce tension, and give each person a sense of independence within the plan. Now, tip number 5. Focus on the why, not just the what. I encourage you to revisit your shared goals often. Whether it's the family vacation, the backyard makeover, or becoming debt-free, these are the things that make budgeting feel purposeful, not restrictive, and encourage each other along the way. When your why is strong, the budget becomes a tool, not a trap, and especially when it's enjoyable to work with, just like 2-line budget that I teach. And the financial funnel I shared back in episode 127. So go ahead and revisit episode 127 so you'll know what we're talking about. It's a great starting point to help you both get clear on your add value wants. Use it as a guide to open the money conversation with your spouse in a way you're both aligned, not pressured. Because, friends, budgeting with your husband doesn't mean turning him into a spreadsheet lover. No. It's really just about having money conversations you can both get through and maybe even enjoy. That's where my 2-line budgeting method comes in. It's super simple, more visual, and way more engaging than a cluttered spreadsheet because it helps you focus on what matters without overwhelming either of you. Now, friends, I challenge you this week. Pick one small money conversation. Keep it under 20 minutes. Then end it with laughter, dessert, or both. And remember, you and your husband are on the same team. The budget isn't the enemy. It's your playbook. The more you laugh, the more you dream and plan together, the stronger your marriage and your money will be. Now, friends, if today's episode challenged you, sparked a new idea, gave you fresh hope, or just helped you see your home finances in a better light, I would love to hear from you. Head over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. Your words don't just help this podcast grow, they help others find the same encouragement and clarity you did. Got a question you'd love to hear answered on the next episode? Drop it in your review or message me directly. I would love to bring your voice into the conversation. And please don't forget to check out the blog at dianagalas.com/blog. It's dianagalas.com/blog for more simple practical tips to help you stay on track. And make sure you're following the Simple Money Systems podcast so you don't miss what's coming next. Because here's so much good stuff ahead. And thank you for being here. I'm cheering you on, and I can't wait to see the amazing things you're building with your money and your mindset. Thank you for tuning into the Simple Money Systems podcast. I hope you found this episode insightful, and I truly believe that a mom like you can be an inspiration to many others just by simply sharing this podcast and leaving a path of precious gems for those moms who are yet to find them. So together, we can create a community of exceptional moms who stand behind each other. Would you share it with other ladies so they can also find a way to a purposeful, debt-free life? Your precious gem is yet to shine. Get it out and share your light with others. Take a good care of yourself, and I meet you right back here at the Simple Money Systems, where your financial freedom journey begins.